Okay, I'm going to start recording, and we are going to have Christine Peterson today. Get ready because there is a lot of wisdom coming in, or coming to you. Okay, good morning, everybody. We are starting recording.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday, and it's the first day of November. I know that, I was reading a quote the other night, and I posted it last night, and it was saying about, you see all those dead leaves coming down right now in the fall, but actually what you don't see is all the dancing of those leaves going along, floating in out into the universe. And I think that's what you are. You're all dancing leaves and you're not dead, right? And I want to really impress upon you today how important it is to start building right now, because this is really an important month. A lot of people are going to get laid off. People are looking for jobs. In the next 2 months, people will be going, oh, what am I going to do? New beginnings, new year. I mean, all of a sudden in 2 months, it'll be a new year. And I want you to think about how you're running your business. Now, so you can either play big or small in this business. I have always chosen to play big in this business. You can play small, big. Big is better, I think. I think abundance is better. I think you can be scarcity thinking or abundance thinking. And what you language, so it shall be. So how do you want to see your business going now? Do you just want to build customers, which is okay, on this tree? That's okay. But if you want to work smart, not hard, there's a real strategy to building a business in networking. And that is really, I want you to think about this today. It's like building a board of directors. You know, if you go to any company or a large company, they always bring the best people in on their board of directors. And why do they do that? Because they have a lot of wisdom, they have knowledge, they think differently, they're business focused. And so I want you to think about this today visually. I'm going to draw a little board here. I know please forgive this. I want you to think about finding 10 great, oh, sorry, I think this kind of got, let me, 1 second here. I got to erase this. I think I was too close to the board, sorry. I'm going to go over here. Okay, here's your board. This is your board of directors. And I want you to be focused on finding 10 great people if you want to play big and smart in this industry. And who do you want? Who would these people be that'll be on your board of directors? And why do you want these go-getters and board of directors? Number one, a go-getter like here that you know, or someone is going to refer. We'll talk about that in just a second. I'll tell you the characteristics of these people in just 1 second. One good business builder will bring in 1,000 people. So I want you to think about that. How many does that make? That makes 10,000 people if you start getting the right people. Instead of doing one at a time, it will take, you can go much faster. If you're just doing one, that equals about 10,000 people if you think about it. Now, go-getters are people that get the most done. I mean, you can see them, they'll come into a party and they have influence. People immediately surround them. Even if you go to a party, they're all around that person. People like to be around them. I'm always cautious of people that say, I don't like people. Well, they're probably not right for our business. We want people that are happy, excited, fun, go-getters. I'm looking for risk takers. I'm looking for business builders. I'm looking for people that get the most done. They are the ones, they could be at your church. Anytime someone says, who will handle this project? Who will be in charge of the potluck, I'm just going to say. And that one person is always raising their hand. And why? They know a lot of people. They always get things done. A go-getter gets things done. So we've got to look for them. Now, here's the reality. Most of you don't really talk to the go-getters because you're kind of intimidated. And there's different personalities that are our go-getters. We have the program that is called DISC, and you've heard this many times. I'm looking for DIs. Why am I looking for DIs? A dominant personality is result-oriented. They're quick decisions. They control people. They want power, authority. They want to make a lot of money. They're open to new possibilities. And then I'm looking for I's. And these are influencers. They're people-oriented. They love to talk. They're motivational. They're enthusiastic. These people, which are about 20% that you're going to meet, are the ones that you're really looking for your board of directors. Because our SCs, who we love, and eventually will come in and become.
She's already did this on her other one about what kind of person.
I'm sorry. All right. The SCs are wonderful, but they are, an S is more family oriented, loyal, slow to change, security minded. And then the C is more detail oriented, professional, critical, analytical. The SCs take probably a year or two before they really move out and become leaders because they have to learn everything. They don't want to move forward. But a D and an I am looking for because they many times will say, I don't care what the product is, just tell me if I can make this kind of money, show me what to do and how do I do it and get there fast. Now, so who do you want on your board of directors? Do you want 10 DIs or IDs that are going to move out faster in the next 12 months, that have leadership skills, business oriented? Or do you want to have a board of directors that are all SCs? Oh, what happened here? I guess someone, all right, I'm just going to, something that, I don't know what happened on the whiteboard, but it just flipped off. The point here is that everyone, you want to get these great people, okay? Now, there's something else that's going to go on here. Number one, when you're looking for people that are big thinkers, energy, fun, there's an attraction principle here. Now, if we go from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, who the 8, 9s, and 10s are your DIs. And what happens in 8, 9, and 10 is who you want the board, but they can attract anyone because everybody wants what the 8, 9s, and 10s. But here's the deal. Most of you go down and you talk to the 1, 2s, and 3s, and 4s. And they're not quite as ambitious. They don't have dreams. As the Harvard study says, 1% and 3%. I want to just, we have 69% and we've got 27%. These are Harvard studies. Listen to this. This all kind of goes together. Harvard study says that 1% of Americans write their goals down. They write them down. Write that down. They write their goals down. The 3% have their goals in their head, but they don't write them down on a piece of paper. And the 69% daydream, and the 27% have no goals or dreams or aspirations at all. And so here we are looking again for this 1% and 3%, which is over here, is the 8, 9s, and 10s. But most of you are talking to people in this group. and you get frustrated. And here's the deal. 69% daydream, the 27% have no goals, and you're talking and you're trying to convince them that this is a great opportunity and you want them to be on your board of directors, but that dog just won't hunt. So you need to be thinking about leveling up and working with people that are 8, 9s, and 10s. 8, 9s, and 10s can recruit all the way down to 1, 2s, and 3s. But a 1, 2, and 3 or a 4 or 5 can never recruit an 8, 9, or 10. Never. So it is best to get 8, 9s, and 10s that will recruit all the way down. And I'll give you a case in point. If I'm going to a restaurant and I'm talking to somebody, I'm going to talk to the manager. I'm going to say, wow, you do an amazing job. You know, how long have you been here? And the manager will tell me, and I'll say, boy, I watched you as I ate my dinner, and boy, you were running around. Everybody's organized. They must pay you a lot of money. And I pause. And then they go, well, not really. And I said, really? And I act shocked. I always go like, what? I said, I bet you'd be great in our business. We're looking for leaders to build in a new company. I'd love to visit with you on that. Do you have a card or something? And he says, what's it about? And I never tell them what it's about. I'll say, well, you're very busy right now, but let me get your name and number. I'll call you back tomorrow. This is really, really important to do. I don't go in there and say, where's the dishwasher? Who's the 1, 2, and 3 down here? I'm looking for 8, 9s, and 10s. And then I call them back. But this is where you get really, really frustrated in your business because you are spending most of your time trying to recruit people that are the 69%, the daydream, and then you have the 20% with no goals. And what does that equate to? That's about 80% of the people. So you're looking for the top 20% to be on your board of directors. Now, when these board of directors take off, imagine, because they attract other people like themselves. 8, 9s, and 10s attract other go-getters. So now if you add another, you get a go-getter in that group. Now if you go, you have 20,000. And then in this group, maybe there's 2 or 3 go-getters. Now you're 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 100,000 people. Now, isn't that easier than taking and doing one little customer at a time? And it takes you forever. And I can tell you, you can really build this business so fast. Now, someone said, how do you find the 8, 9s, and 10s? Well, let me tell you, one of the things, they're a business owner. I mean, and top networkers always ask for referrals. That's the difference in us. We'll say to someone, oh, you're an amazing leader, or you're a great business owner. Do you know anybody else that might want to be one of our leaders? We're expanding worldwide. Excuse me, my voice this morning is not so good. And who do you know? Find the go-getters. They're a business owner. They're the manager. They're the people that get most done. They get the most done. Look in your church. Who's in charge of all the potlucks? Who is your community organizer? Who's the mayor in your town? Go to your events like Lions Club or networking groups. Find the person in charge. Find out who they know. And there's always somebody in charge of the group. That's who you want to talk to. And you tell them what your mission is. I'm looking for great people. A new health and wellness, amazing company. And many times this is what people will say. Well, they'll say, tell me about this. Would you like to they'll say something to me, really? Well, what's going on? You know, and I said, oh, well, you might be interested too. But if you're not, maybe you'll know somebody else. I'm always asking for referrals. But I basically am looking for the 8, 9s, and 10s. I want the best business builders. They might have been a networker previously. I know I'm reaching out now to some of my old directors in Mary Kay because I know they have the skill set. I'm looking for people that like people, people follow them. They're everywhere. They're business owners. They could go to I keep saying restaurant, but think about all the businesses that you know, all the people. But this, you can duplicate your number so much faster and bigger. But you cannot get stuck down into the 1, 2s, 3s, and the people that have no goals and no dreams or just daydream. How many times have people said on your team, "Oh, I'm going to do it. This is what I want," and they don't do anything because they don't have that inside of them. And you waste so much time going down and trying to motivate people. Let me tell you something, you can't motivate anyone. Either they have it or they don't. And I always ask people 3 questions. This is what I always ask. Tell me about yourself. If I'm meeting someone, even if it's a networking event, tell me about yourself. And immediately write that down. The second question I'll say to people, what do you like least or best about what you're currently doing? Now I have more information. And third, I'll say, if you had the ideal dream career, what would it be like? And then they'll tell me. Now I know if I go back, tell me about yourself, I know the D personality is going to tell me immediately, what do you want? The D personality is going to say to me, what do you want to know? Or they will say, well, I've been a manager, I did this project. They tell you how great they are. Okay, I've got a D. I know a D is interested in money, moving fast. Okay, I've got a clue right there. And then I can go down and ask the other question, what do they like or they don't like? And then what would they really like? In those 3 questions, you'll determine who that person is and what they want. So you can go in and deliver this opportunity for each one of these people. Now, if I say to someone, tell me about yourself, they tell you their life story. Oh, I've been this, I dated this guy, I'm just so great. And they're a promoter. They love people. They're excited. They tell you their life story. Now, an S, when I say, tell me about yourself, they tell you, the first words out of their mouth is, oh, I have 2 kids. I take my kids to school. I said, well, that's great. Tell me about you. Well, I take them to soccer practice. Everything is about their family. Okay. And when a C says to me, I say, tell me about you. They tell you every degree, every BA degree, PhD, they're critical analytical thinkers. And so now I know maybe those are not the people I want right this second for my board of directors, although I will present, but I really am looking for the IDs, the ones that are money driven, want to go fast. And then I like the I's because they are the promoters. They're the excited ones. They're the ones that see themselves on the stage. They're excited. They're goal oriented. They write their goals down. They want to move fast. But the SCs, who are great, which are 80%, are going to take you 1 or 2 years to move up to 3-star, 3-star pro, 4-star. So now you really want to think about getting the I's and the D's that are going to move faster and quicker. Now, I'm not saying the SCs won't become the great. In fact, they will know more knowledge than the I's or the D's, but I don't have time for that right now. I want you to think about this. Right now, we're like at the dawn of the industrial age. when the 18th century yeoman got left behind. Everything is changing in the world. And we have AI that is now out here laying off people. Google laid off, 2,000 people because they only need 4 people with AI to do what 2,000 did. Tesla laid off 14,000. There was 143,000 IT people laid off in the summer. Millions and millions and millions of jobs are being laid off. They will never come back. I think Samson was saying the other day, 30% of all jobs in the world are going to be gone. Okay, what does that tell you? There are 10 people for you that are go-getters looking for a new opportunity. Their jobs are being replaced permanently. And so you have to be hunting and readjust your thinking. I always talk business. I'm always talking business, the big picture. I don't talk about product when I meet people. I'm talking about what their life is like, what would they like to do, where their situation is. And I'll say things like this. When they tell me their information, I'll say, oh, are you planning to do that forever? And they go, well, no, not really. I said, well, really? Well, then I think you'd probably be great as one of our leaders in our new company. Would you be open to listening? It might be for you, maybe not. I'm just saying, would you be open? And then they'll say, well, what is it? I don't say, oh, it's this new supplements. They're in the pdr.net. They're amazing. I love them. The greatest. We did $100 million so far. It's amazing. I don't do any of that. I'm just talking about business. And then I bring them over, tell them about the opportunity, tell them about the product. And if they don't want to do it, of course, they can become customers too. But it's the business opportunity that I am selling, because I can get to more people that will eventually use this product long term versus one customer at a time. And I want you to think about that today. How many of you, when you meet people, do you just talk about the products? And that's what most people do. Yeah, because you're afraid, because a couple of things. You're not making the money yet, and so you're afraid to talk about it. No, you must language where you want to be. You have to be a big thinker and to say, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm doing. I'm looking for go-getters. I'm looking for 10 great people. And I talk to people like that. Even in my Zoom calls, I'll say, I'm looking for 10 great people. And why do I say that? Because you see, if I get 10 great people and they're my level ones, excuse me, I get a 30% matching check if they do 100,000 or more. That's $300,000. So let's think smart. Let's not think little. And so I'm looking for 10 great leaders to be my board of directors that will attract other go-getters that will become the board of directors. And so you actually at 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100,000 people. And you say to people, how did you end up with all those people? You just got the right people. But you have to think, really, go back and look at your list today. Go look at your list of all the people you have and really say, are they go-getters? Would you want them on your board of directors? If not, then you need to add new people. You need to start looking for other people who have accomplished things in their life. So I think, anybody have questions on that? I'm so sorry, my voice just suddenly has gone out this morning. I don't know what happened. It's getting winter time here. But any questions on that at all?
Yeah, any comments that you have, but something that I just want to agree 100% with Christine. We cannot build a big business if we are looking only for customers. There's no way. And like she said, remember this very important. Each leader is equal to 1,000 customers or more.
Yeah.
It's so important to keep in mind. And if we are just talking about the products and selling products, that's not a big business. And make sure you listen to the leaders, because when you look at any person that's making 6, 7 figure per year, they always say that. But many times we try to reinvent the wheel, say, no, I prefer to sell because I don't want to. I'm afraid to talk to big business. Think about this. Everything that you have right now is within your comfort zone. Everything that you don't have is outside the comfort zone. We have to get out of that comfort zone. But anyway, anybody wants to comment, because I love what you are saying is wisdom for building any business, not only network marketing, in any big business, that your board of directors.
Yeah, it is really, really important. I'll give you a case in point. Elon Musk, do you think he just brings just the SC personalities or the people that are not smart? He's looking for the smartest people in the world to be there to work for him. And that's what you have to think. You've got to bring the people that will elevate your business and grow it, not just the lower, as I like to say, low hanging fruit on the tree. You're looking for the high fruit, the top people that are ambitious. And when you go to Goldman Sachs, you go to all these companies, they're looking for the best of the best that are hardworking, ambitious, are goal-oriented, great vision. They think big. That's who you're looking for, not scarcity thinking people. You want to think of people that think abundance. They think out of the box. And unfortunately, most of us have been raised from the beginning as a child. And I understand that because I was a teacher for 17 years before I entered this industry. But you're taught to go to school and be good, get good grades, follow the system, and then you get out, and then you go to a job, and then you follow the new system, and you can never get up. And the biggest pyramid in the world is corporate America. There's one CEO, one president, a few vice presidents. Everybody else works in the cubicles and they're doing exactly what they're told to do. But who gets up to the vice president and the president and the CEO? They're the ones, they're the IDs, they're moving on up. They're the go-getters, they want more. The other ones are, they just trade time for money, time for money, time for money. But you're looking for people that are goal-oriented and want more in their life. And so if you treat this like a business or a corporation, and you think about when people say to me, is this a pyramid? I say, no, those are outlawed, number one. But the biggest corporation in the world is a pyramid. And you have no chance of ever getting to the top unless you know somebody or whatever. So you really have to change your whole thought process. And this is difficult because it feels comfortable to just talk about the product, because the biggest fear is the loss of rejection. People are afraid, what will they think of me? I'm not making the money. I don't want to talk about it. I'll just talk about the product because I got great results. I feel comfortable in that zone. But you are never going to make $1 million a year. You have to change your whole mindset. And we're thinking big business and getting the right people on that board of directors. And those are usually dominant, influencing people that are going to move out, and they attract other people like themselves. And you can move it quicker and faster instead of doing the 1, 2s, and 3, so who have no goals, no dreams, no aspirations. And that's where you get frustrated. And you talk to dozens of people, and you're talking to the wrong people. That's my whole point here.
Christine, there is a question here. They say, what do you say to them when they ask what it is? I assume she's talking about business builders. What do you say to them when they ask what it is?
I will just, when someone says to me, well, what is that? I say, I'd love to discuss this. We're building a multi-billion-dollar company in the global e-commerce space globally, cross-border, in the health and wellness arena. And we're looking for great leaders to expand in the world. And I think you would be terrific. But I'd love to share information. Would you be open to hearing? If it's not for you, it's okay. Maybe you'll know somebody else. But we're a new company. We're on the move. I know AI is a problem. And so I kind of put a little fear. And I'll even say to people, how's AI affecting your business? I ask questions. I ask a lot of questions. I'll say something to someone, they'll say to me, I'll say, well, how's that working out for you? So, well, I work here, I do this, I've been at this company. And I'll say, how's that working out for you? Are you planning to stay there forever? I want to make, and then now they respond. I have to ask questions to find out where they're coming from. Because a lot of them are saying, yeah, I know, I'm a little concerned about this AI taking my job. And I say, you know what? I may have something for you. Would you be open to taking a look? We're looking for leaders that want to build globally. I talk big picture. I talk about abundance. I don't say, oh, you can be a customer. I'm talking about building leaders, if that makes sense to everyone. Does that help? And someone said down here, big business builders say yes and become business builders. And you have less rejection. This is the deal. You really have less rejection with these people up here than you do down here, because it's like the old crab pot thing. They have no goals. No, they just daydream, most of the people. And they are the ones, what is this? Is this a pyramid? What is this? No, I don't think so. I just got to go find a secure job and trade time for money. You're wasting your time. Sign them up as a customer, but they're not going to be your board of directors. You got to be focused on your board of directors. And so you need to go back and look at everyone you're talking to right now. And then ask them for referrals. If they're not interested, who do they know that would be a great leader in our company? You never know who they're going to do. So I guess that's it.
I agree 100%. By the way, tomorrow we have the onboarding in the morning and then the pay plan. And the reason I'm mentioning that, because many people say, what do I do for blank? All the questions are, or we already have them somewhere. It's so important that tomorrow you are in the onboarding and the pay plan too, because you see the huge picture, the biggest picture. Now, what Christine said today is a lot of wisdom. It's interesting because it's simple and makes sense. You probably heard the theory that say 20% of the people make 80% of the profits on anything. And actually it goes beyond that. 3% of the people usually get 93% of the sales. This is in real estate. This is in wealth. This is on everything. And the reason, because those are go-getters. That means for every 100 people out there, there are 3. I was in a training with Robert Allen, who wrote Multiple Streams of Income many years ago, for those of you that read that book. And we were in the training, we were like 1,000 people in the training, and he said, right now, outside these doors, we were at the downtown in Salt Lake City, outside these doors, for every 100 people, there are 3 that are willing to do whatever it takes to be successful. Mm-hmm. Now, that doesn't mean that we approach 100 and we are going to find it, because it could be in the next 100, but in the next 100 we'll find 6, because the numbers never lie. Eventually are gonna happen. But I love. Anybody else has a comment or any comment or question?
Yeah, I'll comment. I think one of the things. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Oh, okay, great. One of the things that happens, I think, many times when somebody is introduced on just a product, and the product works. Like for me, as a health professional, I was looking for some things for my own health, and and they worked so well. I implemented them into my wellness clinic, but I never thought of this as a business until 2020 when, you know, everything got shut down, my clinics got shut down. And then I was able to shift my mindset. So I think if I can say anything, and I know Christine has been so impactful on coaching myself, you know, the people in my group that are traditional, you know, brick and mortar business owners. If I can say anything, keep keep reaching out to those people in a way that makes sense to them. Like, I think not only do I want good products, but I'm thinking of my retirement. I'm thinking long term of, you know, what's the next step? And do I want to continue going to the office every day? What am I going to do in my 60s? You know, one thing that I didn't look at until just, I don't know, 6 or 8 months ago was my goal sheet for 2019. And on my goal sheet, it said, take my business online, go virtual. I didn't even remember that I had written that down. And then we hit 2020, and then I looked at this business model. So if I can say anything, um, reach out to every single person, whether you think they are open or not, and just share, and don't do it yourself. Your biggest job is to put them in front of the information. Do not do this yourself. I think that was one of my biggest mistakes, and took me really 3 years in this business to actually really launch a great team, was because I was very product focused. So if you're out there just selling products, you're not going to get that person that you want to do business with. So, you know, it took me a while, and trust me, every time a leader said lead with the business, I was like, no, thank you. You know, great, good for you. So if I could say anything, and I know Christine, you can speak to that so much better, but and in your business alone, you know, in your direct sales business, everybody led with the product except not you. And so it took me a minute to shift gears, but when we're always leading with the product, we are never going to find those business builders that we want to really launch our businesses with. And so I don't know, that just is heavy on my mind. So I wanted to share that.
That was very good, Renee, and I appreciate that. And it's true, even when I was with Mary Kay Cosmetics, some people never really understood that concept. I always led with the business because I was building leaders, and I know we've got Irene and my new one from Washington here, and others. I always thought, because I knew they would build more people, and we could get more product flowing through the company, where some people thought small. They never grasped about building leaders. And the greatest leader of all is the one that builds the most leaders. I want everybody to hear that right now. The greatest leader of all is the one that builds the most leaders. And so you build the right people, the leaders, and then they build other leaders, and it gets huge. And all this volume of product now is greater than just one person. You see, you know, you think, oh, they don't talk about product, but we do. We all use the product. I use every single one of the products, and everybody uses them. But you can expand worldwide. You know, I think, now I'll give it, and then I'll close off with this. I think because I came from the traditional Mary Kay Cosmetics, but if you look at the model of Mary Kay, she was a one woman that started in a little storefront with $5,000, and she went out and did parties, and then she recruited some people, but then she realized, I'm only one woman. For me to build this is a big business. I've got to build directors, and I need to build national sales directors to build out globally. She couldn't, if she hadn't done that, she would not be a multi-billion-dollar company. I grasped that. I got that right away. The only way I could make $1 million a year was to build leaders. And all those leaders and all those people selling the product, moving the product was like $48 million a year just in retail. That's a lot of lipsticks.
Yeah.
That's a lot of lipsticks.
Totally true. You know, Christine, I was thinking about the way when I started listening to also to Renee, my first year in network marketing was terrible. I was 6 months in New Skin and the first 6 months in Vaxa, terrible because I was so darn product oriented. As soon as I switched, in the next 6 months, I was in the top 10 on Vaxa. Sadly, Vaxa filed for bankruptcy. But then the same thing we applied to USANA for, there's a couple of people that work with me here in USANA. The same thing we exploded gosh, we were moving over $1 million a month in products, but it was not because we were selling. Because it's funny because somebody heard me, how much we were moving. It was not selling. It was by creating leaders. As a matter of fact, in the top 50, we have something like 20% of the people were our team. And now, not that I was a genius, it's just that we were finding the people that wanted to build the business. And of course, we were together in Isogenics, the same thing. We have 40 people that earn over $1 million. And the reason is because we were finding the right people, not because I'm a genius. They were better than me. You are way better than me. It's just because we were finding people that were better than us, as good or better than us. When you were talking about the board of directors, that's what we've had to look. It's the board of directors, the best people that we can surround them with. And it's why there's so much wisdom today. And I would say that it's, first of all, the board of directors. Second is that we had to make sure that we understand that it's not the majority of people, it's the minority of people that are going to be building the business. And third, to find them, we have to talk business. If we don't talk business, we are not going to find them. That's simple.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
simple.
because
And
those
I know
people are
like you
thinking
said,
business.
many people are afraid of that, but it's a fact. It's a
Yeah.
fact.
And I want to say one last thing too, is that this is critical for all of you on this today. In the next 2 to 3 years, AI is taking over.
Totally.
Our business is counter-cyclical, and you don't want to miss the opportunity by running your business in the wrong way. If you need to be focused on building a big business with leadership board of directors, because those people are out there losing their jobs. And when a lot of people are out of work, we enroll a lot more people in our industry. And so you really have to move quickly now in the next 2 to 3 years to build a massive business. That's really important. I know. Did you put that up, George?
Yeah, that's the AI. 300, look at this part.
Yeah.
300 million jobs are going to be lost in the Western world because AI in the United States and Europe. Look at that. And this was stated by Forbes magazine. Here is the link to Forbes magazine.
Yeah.
This was not a conspiracy theory or anything like that. This is the reality.
Mm-hmm. And
so
you can all find 10 people. There are 10 people for you. That's my point. And it's like a jelly bowl. Look for the red hots in the jelly bowl. You sort and sift, find that one. Great. Got a great leader. Then go to the next leader, the next leader, the next leader. And then you spend 80% of your time working with the top 20%. That's who you work with. Your leaders in action who bring in more leaders. That's how you build.
And we work on team for that, by the way. Don't feel afraid. Yeah. Yes. And we work on a team together. If you feel, I don't know how to approach, invite them to a presentation. We are there. Or a 3-way call. We are there. We will help you to get there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So we can do it. Let's do it.
Been a great call. Right? Thank you. We went 70 minutes over time, but it was worthwhile. Those 70 minutes is going to pay us over time.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much. And thank you, everybody that participated. And thank you, Christina. Thanks, Renee, and everybody, because this was amazing call. Really amazing. Thank you.
Have a great week,
Have an
everybody.
amazing week.
All
And
right.
remember tomorrow, onboarding and
Weekend. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for
Make this
appreciate
November
that,
amazing
Christine.
month.
So great.
Remember.
Thank you so much. See you in a minute, Christine.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, Ray.